Welcome back to another episode of our Choose Optimism podcast, where we're featuring junior golf participants for the past International Golf Championship. And today we have Isahak Kelechian with us today. Isaac, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
And who is the gentleman with you?
This is my dad.
Very cool.
How's it going?
All right, let's talk a little bit about the golf tournament. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved playing golf.
Yeah, so I started back when I was 4 years old. I used to also play hockey, which also motivated me with golf because, they say hockey players are good at golf. And also, my grandpa really inspired me because he would always play golf and he was a pretty good golfer himself. So he really got me into the sport. And same with my dad and my uncle. They used to play with my grandpa. So they kind of had a threesome going on there, and I was the foursome they were missing.
Yeah, so it's a family affair, but I mean, it's mostly because when we used to do hockey in the summers, it wasn't as busy and it left us room to do another sport. And like he said, grandfather used to also play a lot, so we kind of picked it up from there.
Well, Isaac, what year did you was your first year playing in the Optimist International Golf Tournament?
I believe it was 2022. That was when I first did my qualifier for the tournament, and I got in that year, but um, I didn't go that year. But the next 4 years, I tried to qualify, didn't make it, and eventually, when my game was at its best, first time I got to go and experience it, which was really cool.
And that was in 2025, correct?
Exactly.
Tell us a little bit how did you hear about the Optimist International Golf Qualifier?
So it's a pretty big tournament back where we're from. Um, I think there's around 50 kids that participate for the qualifier, and it's just it's a really big deal, especially to play at a course like that, which is really cool, and it's a huge, great organized tournament.
What led you to find the qualifier? How did you hear about our qualifier?
From my friend, he played in the qualifier of the tournament, and he thought I was pretty good, so he told me that I should go play in it to try my try my best and hopefully get in.
I believe it's also one of the tournaments that is used to qualify for the provincial championships as well. That it is one of the more elite events that we have that takes place in Quebec. And that was, I think it was in 2021 that we did it.
Yeah.
And that summer we couldn't go because we were traveling. So by the time we qualified, we had already made summer plans to travel. So for that one, he couldn't make it. But it it's one of the bigger tournaments that is hosted here in Quebec. So it's a must-do for any developing athlete or any developing golfer that wants to play at a higher level. And it's I think it's a 2 day event, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will you be playing in this year's qualifier?
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna try to make it again.
Did you have any experience with an Optimist club before the qualifying tournament?
Nope, but I'm happy I got that experience.
How did you feel about the qualifier on the course that you played?
Um, it was a tricky course, tough conditions, but got through it and, you know, played, tried my best and shot a pretty good score, which led me to go through and make it to the championship.
Is there a hole that really stuck in your memory as a good hole or a bad hole during the qualifier?
Um, Definitely hole number one because I think that was my worst hole that kind of stuck with me where I made that horrible triple bogey. But also one of my best holes was hole number 17 where I got my first hole in one.
Wow, first hole in one. Congratulations. I bet that was pretty excited.
Yeah,
Really makes up for the triple bogey.
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your experience when you got to Florida and saw the course for the first time.
When I got to Florida, first I got to my hotel. It was super beautiful. Saw that huge clubhouse. Really got me excited to play in the tournament. And started the practice round a bit late because it was raining, but I got to the first hole, nailed the drive, and I'm like, this is going to be a great tournament. Everything looked in great condition. The course was probably one of the best courses I've ever seen, and just super great.
Which course did you play on in the Optimist International Golf Tournament?
The Blue Monster.
They don't call it the Blue Monster for nothing, I've been told by other participants.
Yeah.
Tell us about playing golf, playing your round at the championship round. Tell us about your first round when you were participating in our tournament.
So first round started off pretty good. Um, Up until the fourth hole, I was playing pretty good, and then I had a referee give me a two-shot penalty, which I didn't know what for, but got through that. First day wasn't so good, but it was also my first time playing in a big event like that, a very big event. So the nerves definitely got to me, but still found it pretty good. My first round, lots of ups, lots of downs, but got through it.
Did you meet any other international players from around the world while you were in the tournament?
Yeah, I made plenty of friends while I was there, and I also flew down with my two friends from back home, who I'm very close with now.
Oh, so you had friends go down to the tournament with you got to hang out with.
Yeah,
What's the farthest way you've made a relationship with this at the tournament?
a tournament. Well, my best friend Felix, who I met at a tournament a long time ago, he's currently one of my closest friends, I would say. So golf really brought us together, I would say.
Do you have any experiences outside the tournament that where you stick out in your memory with yourself or your family?
Uh, I don't quite understand it.
Was there any experience in Florida that you did after the tournament that sticks out that you in your memory with your like a family trip or family function or something you went to?
During
Outside of Florida, you mean, or just as family trips in general?
No, outside as a tournament in Florida. If you did, was there something you did outside in Florida while you were down there that sticks out in your memory as a really fun thing for you and your family?
We went to eat
oh
some subs at that
oh,
place.
I remember. Yeah, that was very good.
What was the name of the place?
Jersey Mike's.
Jersey Mike's. Yeah, we went for some subs there. It was delicious. I mean, it wasn't much chance to get out and go around outside of the Doral. I mean, it was beautiful. The grounds are amazing already, but we didn't have enough time to travel or get outside to go around because we had to fly back and we had the provincial championships 2 days after or the day after we returned, so it didn't give us a chance to hang around much. So we came in with the tournament and then we were gone 4 days later.
What was some of your experiences with the Optimus International volunteer staff and the people that you ran into that were running the tournament?
Um, the Optimist staff, in my opinion, they were really helpful and really nice people, in my opinion, and I think they were doing a great job preparing the event and refing the event also, which I thought it was everything, the whole organization and the way they organized the event was really amazing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if I could just add a little bit to that, I mean, Benoit and I mean, the whole entire staff from Optimist, the volunteers and the members, it was just from the moment we arrived every night and every morning with breakfast, they were all there to greet us. I would say, having done many tournaments, I think the atmosphere, the kindness, the hospitality is, I've never seen that before. It really has a really high standard, and we left with a very positive feeling and great, 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 great memories. So, job well done. Really happy with that.
What were some of the experiences with you had meeting new people that you had to deal with on the course, like players you were playing against and things of that nature?
Well, the first day I actually got to play with my friend Felix and um, this kid named Mateo from Argentina, who was like truly an amazing kid, and the three of us bonded really well. After golf, actually, we went to go hang out on the water slides and walked around the golf course, the area. Overall, it was just super cool making friends at this tournament. Got close, made tons of new friends, some from back home, some from all other parts of the world, which I found was really cool.
Yeah.
What are some advice you'd have for somebody that wants to play in a qualifier or getting ready to go to a qualifier?
Um, I think that they should just give it their all, and really think that it's like a race. You know, you're running the race, and then eventually you'll win the race as long as you just keep trying, you know. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. So if they just don't play good the first qualifier, you know, there's always a next time for the qualifier. So there's going to be a moment where eventually they get good enough and they make it.
Yeah, I think just having a positive attitude towards it and not giving up. I mean, it's definitely a challenge, and as you go through in golf, there's always ups and downs, and I think a qualifier is the first step. And when you get through, I think it's just a big part of it is also the experience you gain from meeting people, playing at a higher level. So there's always a learning curve, but I think learning is part of this entire game that you're always learning, no matter at what stage.
What advice would you have somebody getting ready to go to the tournament down in Florida if they it was their first time experience for them?
Well, as a first timer, I think that they should have not that big expectations of how they play, but they should just definitely go out, play their game, enjoy the game because you know it's a really memorable experience, memorable trip for them. And I think that they shouldn't put any pressure on themselves and that they should just play their game and be relaxed, you know, have a good time again. And
So a lot of the players we've been talking to have talked about how tough the greens were because they had to play on a different type of grass. What was your experience on the greens playing in the tournament?
yeah, so the greens, they were, in my opinion, they were very difficult, especially because they were very bipolar, in my opinion, because one green could be running extremely fast, and then the next green could be running really slow. So, you know, you really had to gauge your speed on a lot of these putts.
So different from what you're playing on up in Montreal, we're correct?
Completely different.
That, like I said, that's one of the things that all the people have talked about. Uh, that the greens were the toughest part of switching from Bermuda grass to from bent grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would also add to that, stay hydrated was another key factor. It can get hot, so I think having a lot of hydration, having good sunblock, and bringing some umbrellas to stay cool was also, I would say, an important part of it as well. And they did a great job with providing a lot of fluids to keep hydrated, but just be prepared for that as well.
What was your best hole during the championship that you were playing in? That one that sticks out as the best memory and the best hole?
Um, I'm gonna have to go with hole number 8. The par five I found that was really cool because it's kind of like a huge risk if you go for it, but it's very much high risk, high reward. And it was just a beautiful layout. You see the big clubhouse, you see the huge flag. I found that was really beautiful and very cool in my opinion.
What was your worst hole, that the one that you never want to remember hardly half?
Probably the whole number hole number 4, the par 3, because that's when I got my penalty, and that's when that's the moment that really messed with my head and stuck as a bad memory.
What were you called for the penalty for?
I was called for um, what was it? Not fixing a divot, just moving something that was on the fringe. And I forgot that I wasn't allowed to do that, so I got called for the penalty. Um, did not feel good, but you know I had to deal with the consequences of my actions.
I think it was the penalty was given to him, the way the penalty was addressed. I mean, someone just came running out of the woodwork, said, "Hey, that you can't stroke penalty," or whatever it was, and it just kept escalating up until the ninth hole. So although he was playing well, it was kind of like he had somebody in his ear the remainder of the game until they could make a decision as well. So it just threw him off his game a little bit, which I guess it would be expected for a young player that was all playing well, and then suddenly out of the blue, it's like you got a two-stroke penalty for something that you weren't aware of.
So, what are your future plans with your golf as you move forward in your life?
My future plans are hopefully to get into a good prep school, good college, and play some good golf there. Eventually, maybe move on to the Corn Ferry Tour, try to get my card there, and then eventually in the by 2032, 2033, maybe even 2034, I'd hope to get my tour card. But
You want to take golf to the highest level you can take it to.
yeah, especially with the recent, I've been making huge developments in my golf game lately, so I think it's very possible.
What do you plan to study when you're at college, or what are you hoping to study when you go to college?
I'm hoping to study sports psychology because that's what's really going to help me with my mentality on the golf course. And the way I think, I the way I could execute the next shot, moving on from a bad shot, vice versa, getting too excited and having to calm myself down.
What is something you would like to say to the Optimist International and the Optimist volunteers that put on this tournament?
I would like to say that they're doing a great thing and that they should keep doing this event and keep going because um, I think I'm speaking for everybody here. I think it was one of the best events that I've ever done, and I hope other people feel like that because it was really well organized and just really cool to see all these different people from all these different countries.
Was that the best thing that you saw all the from how all they come from all over the world? Was pretty exciting for you?
Yeah, it was really cool, and I also got to learn their languages that they speak. So,
I think one of the fun things that they had this year was the longest drive competition as well, that Isaac got to be part of. He finished top four, and it just created in the evening a really fun, exciting time when all the kids gathered around. They were watching boys and girls tee off and had that longest drive competition. So it wasn't just about golf. I think it was about building memories for a lifetime, both for the kids and the parents. Because a lot of times it's the kids that are playing, but having the opportunity following the game to have a little bit of downtime and create, let's say, a long drive competition or a putting competition, little things that are also fun and just memories for a lifetime. And I think that was all part of it, which hats off, which they did a tremendous job with that.
I also forgot to ask you what place did you take in the tournament when you were playing last year? Do you remember?
um, I don't remember the exact position, but I don't think it was too good because of how I got off on the wrong foot day one.
I think it
But
was 30th.
yeah, third, 24th, I think,
Yeah.
something like that. Um, wasn't I didn't put on my best game, that's for sure, but it was also my first time. So I think maybe if I play it again this year, I feel like I'll definitely place better and shoot some better scores.
And you're looking forward to seeing some people you've met there, those relationships, and maintaining those relationships with people that come to the tournament.
Yeah, and I think my some of my close friends are going to be playing in this tournament, especially because this year I moved up in age group. So I'm going to be playing with some of my close friends who are a year or two older than me, or seeing them.
So you've got a lot to look forward to with the qualifier and hitting that goal of making the international golf tournament again.
Yeah, for sure.
Did the Optimist Club that put on the qualifier, did they help you anyway to go to Miami, or how did you fundraise to go to Miami?
Um, well, I think Benoit was a huge part of the help. He really helped me get to the point to get to Miami this year, especially with the donation. It was a super help, like a huge help to get to to get to this tournament, and I can't say thank you enough. Like it was truly helpful, and overall, I'm just extremely happy with everything that's gone at this tournament. Even though it didn't turn out my way, I think that there was just so much help that you can't like be mad.
Yeah, I think it really adds to the building blocks of the experiences, not just with playing, but even just being prepared to travel, what it takes to travel, getting there, settling in, seeing the different environment, all the different people, being prepared with that. So there's so many facets by being invited and by getting there and by playing, we're learning, and that's all part of the whole learning experience about golf. I find it's as a parent I'm talking about, but also for my son as well. Just what it takes to even book your flights. I mean, to make sure you get there in time, to make sure you pack everything. So there's so many facets, and by having this opportunity, it helps us become more and more comfortable as we grow into the sport. It was really a great learning experience.
So a lot to look forward to in the next year as you get closer and closer to the qualifier and closer to the OI Golf Championship again.
Absolutely.
Well, I can't tell you, Isaac, how much we appreciate you being with us on the Optimist podcast and sharing your experience with with Optimist International.
Yeah.